I'm Chris. This is the first poem I wrote more than 25 years ago for the passing of my father. It's called The Eagle Flies. Wherever, to whatever, whenever he feels, however so clever, though in secrets he steals. He takes them, then breaks them to reveal their inside. Once he's done some game one, his prize is arrived. He rebuilds it, making each piece of it secure the next can survive. And once more, somehow different, he takes to the skies, not caring but still sharing with those worthy and wise, the secret of which he kept away from man's eyes. Yes, he knows me, but chose he to loathe me for what I have done. Our surface the sky next, how someday the sun. We take them, then break them, selfish, amoral, mundane, not blinking nor thinking whose pain we sustain, no winning for users, no prize to attain. If there's one thing he can bring to us in his flight, this is best. We cannot rest. This is our last test to bring Earth back to right. Hello again. So this is called Thanks For, and it was written in the Don jail for my girlfriend at the time, who visited me regularly. So thank you. Thanks for beating mean streets and always finding me. Thank you for being ice cream to my meat and let me be. Thanks for bringing feelings, days that we can share. Thanks for priceless smiles. Now and then you're there. Thanks, darling, for you are the apple of my eye. Thanks to birds that fly above, to you my heart does fly. Thank you, honey bunny, from my lips up to your feet. But thank you most of all, for you make me feel complete.
Alright, so I'm here with Chris, and Chris is kind enough to share some of his experiences with some of our high school youth. He wants to bring awareness to people about drugs, and today, our big theme is about depression, so we're going to talk a little bit about mental health as well. We want to make sure that people have awareness, especially kids, high school kids have some awareness and know what could happen, what could go wrong. And also, if something bad's happening, or if they're starting to slip down the wrong road, when to start asking for some help. So, Chris, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure, thank you.
The interview. You've just recited for us some poetry, you did some songs.
Yeah.
You're quite an intelligent guy. Your memory's super sharp. How did somebody like you, who has so much talent, get into drugs? What started this?
A cycle of failure rather than success, starting with birth. Trauma at home, and beyond that, it escalated to problems with my brother, and I left home at 17.
Okay. So the problem really started for you at home. Did you start doing any drugs before you left the house, or
Yes.
just only had?
Yes.
Okay. Did anybody at home know that you were doing drugs?
Yes. And actually, my first instance was in a hospital. When I was first shot up by a doctor for a dislocated shoulder, and I liked it. I really liked it. I was 12 years old.
Okay. Did you continue using after being 12,
Yes.
right away?
I dislocated my shoulders over 100 times, had both of them operated on, and with maybe half of those dislocations, I got shot up again with Demerol.
Were you at any point trying to dislocate your shoulders on purpose to get
Yep.
Demerol? Okay. Did anybody, how did things go at home? How did people figure out, hey, this guy's...
They were both researchers, so they knew.
So both your parents were researchers at the hospital, so I guess they understood what was going on. Did you feel like people at home didn't understand what you were going through? That pushed you out of the house?
I think only one individual at home cared what I was going through, and the other two kind of exacerbated it.
Okay. How long were you using drugs for?
From beginning
that
to now?
Till now.
37 years.
37 years. You've been completely clean now for
2 months.
2 months. Okay. So give us a little history of, what kind of drugs you've used, or what kind of situations you put yourself
Plenty,
in.
all of them pretty much. Starting with Demerol, and then other opiates before I was 14. Then marijuana, alcohol, LSD, mescaline, glue. All before I was 17, and then cocaine when I was 20, and heroin when I was probably 25.
25. So, even at 25, you're still a fairly young guy.
Yeah.
You're still a fairly young guy right now.
Yeah.
So even before 17 or at 14, you've already used a whole bunch of drugs. did you drop out of school at some point?
Yes.
How old were you when you dropped out of school?
I was actually kicked out at my first high school. I'm not going to go into the circumstances, but...
Did it have to do anything with drug use?
Yep.
Okay. Were you finding that drugs were easy to come by at school?
Yep.
Okay.
That was my second pharmacy, you know what I mean?
Okay. How would you, like, from your personal experience, how would you tell like somebody in high school right now, or you're saying 12 years old, that's pretty young, so somebody in high school, even late elementary school, like what should they be really trying to avoid?
Number one, you know, sketchy people, right? Like, try and chill with people who are solid and cool, because, like, yeah, violence is prevalent.
All right, awesome. Can I ask a couple tough questions?
Please.
All right. What do you think were the lowest points you got to using drugs?
Prison, getting my life threatened on many occasions. Let's see, what else?
Did you ever fear overdose? Did you ever fear death?
Yeah, you know that because I wrote you a poem about it. Yeah. Secondly, yeah, my first conscious suicide attempt was on parole. I'd used, and I knew I was going to get piss tested for the first time in my sentence, and yeah, so I knew I was going to piss dirty, so I by accident stabbed myself in the hand. That's why I can't straighten my finger. And yeah, that night, drank a bottle of vodka and took my whole month's worth of Seroquel all at once, and went to sleep and said, you know, if I wake up, so much the better. If not, so be it.
So the drug use kind of made you want to end it.
Yeah, along with other circumstances, like parole had told me that I couldn't live with my girlfriend anymore, so I was forced to move out. And working 2 jobs, being sober, all those things, like being sober for 10 months, all those things like led me to back in the street, because I was living tougher than an egg. Tougher than an egg, it's prevalent. I walked out of my house at 6 a.m. to go to work. I was working 2 jobs, and like, yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Like, people searching storefronts for crack pieces, and yeah, it was bad.
When did you start feeling that you are actually addicted? Like, I know you started using drugs.
I knew I liked drugs from jump, right? Like, but yeah.
When did you feel like you can't stop?
I kind of gave up trying about maybe 10 years ago. Like, I just kind of resigned myself to I'll never be nothing, and yeah.
Like, kind of took it away from you with drugs?
Yeah, like my sales had gone, right? It was right after brain surgery. And the first thing I did after brain surgery was write a poem to see if I still could. My girl and my mom were there, and yeah, I could. It was but I could.
When did you realize you needed help?
The first time as I mentioned, I was in prison, so the first time I got back from a trip doing my thing, yeah, I tried to get help at Stonehenge, like knowing they were long term, so I could get off the street, and it was out of Toronto. So I interviewed there, and they said I was trying to intimidate the interviewer because I was using like interview skills, like, you know, eye contact, repeating in my own words what they just said, kind of thing, to make sure that they heard me, or I heard them, and then yeah, just making eye contact and being assertive, you know what I mean? So they thought I was intimidating, and they said, no, he's not a good fit. And then I went to CAMH and yeah, did a 21-day program, which was blessed. Like, you know, I met a girl
that helped you.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay. You did mention something on the City TV interview. Yeah. You want to repeat it for these guys? About why you decided to get help?
Yeah, recently, cocaine in Toronto is like 10% at most, maybe 20 if powder. So the rest of it is unknown and like messed me up, right? Like, I'm not going to go into the details of my use, but like, suffice it to say, it affected the inside physiology of my body to the point where I had to second think it.
You felt like this could...
Yeah, and heroin, fentanyl, my dealer had 2 ODs on him that weekend. That was the weekend I quit 6 months ago.
So for people that don't know what an OD means, it's an
overdose,
which could theoretically, or it could
will stop your heart.
How do you feel is the attitude of like people in the community about drug use? Or about people who use drugs?
Mixed, very much so. Belle, let's talk. Thank you very much. Today was awesome. I didn't hear a lot of it, but I did hear some of it on the radio. So yeah, that's really good. Like, addiction goes hand in hand with mental health. I'm sure a large percentage of the population knows this, but for those that don't, 20% are hardcore users, and like 80% of their money goes to black market, where it's not taxed, it's not like going to any government, it's going to like fund drugs, murder, lots of bad stuff, but also some good.
Okay, what would you say to somebody, a young person who might be thinking, you know what, a lot of people around me are trying drugs, I want to try drugs?
Do it at your own risk. Like, yeah, it's not an easy life. It's not easy at all. I'm sure you can imagine from what I said. So, yeah, beyond that, look to your family for support and never give up. Always keep looking. I've been to 7 rehabs. And yeah, beyond that, support is paramount in my daily life, in and out of like addiction. So,
thank you. Good. Right. Thank you so much, Chris. You're
Thank
super
you, sir.
honest. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You don't have to change a thing. We're stars and we're beautiful.